So it's me. Just watching Sopranos where about the horse. Him and Peter fight one of his captains or whatever. He's like, the horse. The veterinary said the horse roasted to death and they had to put it down. And he's like, yeah, terrible things happen, blah blah blah. And then he's like, the horse was losing, I don't know, $100,000, blah blah blah. And Tony's like, it always bounced back, blah blah blah. He's like, it was no good. He's like, you freaking killed it, didn't you? So him and Tony start fighting, and he kills Ralph. But there's these two twins. Like I say, their last names, but they're two Indo-Canadian guys that were twins. They're gangsters. One of them got shot. Seen a video about it the other day, like today or yesterday. They say he got shot 26 times. Got shot 19 times with a MAC-10, but the MAC-10 jammed. So after 19 rounds, but he took 19 and died and stuff. And somehow paramedics like to freaking release information about people. Like when Jonathan Bacon died out in Victoria, the paramedic that was there said, oh yeah, big gangster. But just before he died, he started crying, and then he defecated himself. That's what happens when you die. You lose control of your bowels. Some little Irish drivers are little goofs. But anyways, so these two twins, he's driving in his car, and cars are just driving by, and there's this little bird, a little crow or raven with a broken wing at the side of the road, and nobody's noticing it, and they're just zipping on to work, not caring. And he's driving along, he sees it, and he goes down, he zips around, he takes the little raven or crow home, and God notices these things. And he took the crow home, or raven. He would stay in the kitchen with him and his mom. The crow would go on his or raven would go on his shoulder, and his mom would cook food for the crow or raven. It was sitting on his mom's shoulder in the kitchen. It stayed for 3 weeks, and then they opened up the window and he flew away. Fast forward later on, and this is how God works. He gets shot 19 times with either a 9mm MAC-10 or 45 cal. And he lived. Because you know why? There's a God out there. Of all the people that are driving by, never committed a crime in their life. Probably lots of hiding money, fraudulent crimes, back dealing, double stabbing, but not hardcore criminal. It took a hardcore criminal to, pick up a little bird and nurse it back to health, and the mom would laugh about it, and the bird got a chance because innocent animals, they can't really speak to us, and children too, or small people. Or this is why I stand up for people in Vancouver, because I dealt with my own problems with hanging out with people and I paid for it, and I took it like a man. I didn't go running to the police. Even if I didn't know something, I still wouldn't have. Like, I hate that excuse, like, well, like, no, you know exactly if you're hanging out with someone. And I manned up and I said no. And even if I knew someone, I'd never rat him out. It was just, I hung out with a guy in a time when, there was no cameras. I had a bunch of, film on him that bought those wind-up cameras. I knew where they all lived. And, you know what I mean? Like, if I meet the wrong person or something. Anyways, this is in the past. Me and him are friends again. I hope he's alright. And someone didn't murder him for his money or his brother. But, it's just like, Tony Soprano, he's like, what is the horse ever did you kill the innocent little animal? You know what I mean? So it's like